Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Sarah Smith, and you're listening to Raw Intentions. Happy Thursday. So stoked to be back on the mic. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see we're in a different setup, different studio at Denver Photo Collective. Shout out. You're local in Denver and need a spot to podcast, to take content, to hold events. They do a little bit of everything here. You can become a member. So sick. So thank you guys so much for having me. But we've got a great episode today with a fabulous local guest. Before we get into that though, I will talk about myself because I'm obsessed with talking about myself, hence why I have a podcast, and give my little elevator pitch just in case this is your first time listening. I also just want to call out, if you're watching on YouTube today, I put self-tanner on last night, very late at night, and my hand is a different color than my body. So if you see me talking with my hands on this episode, please just ignore my left hand. It is literally orange brown, looks like it's covered in dirt. Just needed to make sure we discussed that. But like I said in the intro, my name is Sarah Smith, Sarah with an H, Smith with a Y. I'm from Madison, Alabama, living in Breckenridge, Colorado, and I'm 30 years old, 30, flirty, and thriving. I went to Auburn University, studied occupational therapy and Spanish to do bilingual occupational therapy, and never went to grad school. I was incredibly broke all through college, as one is, and started making handmade jewelry my senior year just to try to make a little side money to buy sorority t-shirts and shots at the bar. So I started making necklaces for myself, for my friends, and my coworkers at Texas Roadhouse, because I was also a waitress. The girl likes to hustle. And what started as a little side gig out of my college apartment has blossomed, and 8-9 years later is still my full-time job. So it's called Raw and Rebellious. It's at raw_rebellious. Started with just handmade jewelry, and now we don't do handmade jewelry at all anymore. It is very much a lifestyle brand. So we do apparel, we do hats, prints, shoes. We do meetups, pop-ups, hosted weekends, international trips. I have this podcast, I have a YouTube channel, and I do influencing from my personal account. So I wear a lot of hats, and we're still growing. Who knows where it'll end up? So Raw and Rebellious is like this all-encompassing thing now. It's kind of taken on a life of its own. And that's been my favorite part, is not only seeing all the growth, but I think seeing the community that we've been able to cultivate over the years. It's been so organic, so sustainable, and something that I'm so freaking proud of. And that's what really led me to start this podcast, Raw Intentions, was, I wanted a lifeline to that community that I get to chat with via DMs every single day. And it's been so much fun. Not only do I do solo episodes and talk about things going on in my life as I move through my 20s and now 30s, but I get to have on guests where I get to ask a million questions and get to know new people, bring people's stories to our platform, as well as like grow my own community and make new friends, especially since getting to record in the podcast. If you're an OG listener, you know that I used to record out of my bed in my bedroom. I get to meet people face to face and just grow my local entrepreneur, creator, creative community in Colorado, which I've really, really enjoyed. And that brings us to our amazing guest this week. This week, we've got Nat Bally. She is a fitness influencer that I have followed for years. I don't even know how I found her, but she's like one of the OGs. Started in 2017 when she was like 19 years old, which is so crazy. And Nat also lives in Denver. And I think that's maybe how I started following her. And I've seen her journey over the last 3-4 years, and so much has changed for her. And we get into all of it. We talk about what it was like starting on Instagram so young, how it felt not fitting in college and in school, and making connections elsewhere and through the gym and through fitness. And then we also talk about hormone health. We talk about her struggles with PCOS, how her body changed, the effects of birth control, and how she refound herself not only in the fitness space, but in the social media space and within her own skin. Because I think we've all experienced that, a situation where we're feeling not in our own body. Our bodies, especially as women, go through so many changes as we get older. And she called it second puberty, which I so agree. When I was 24, 25, I totally hit second puberty where my body changed, my everything changed. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? This is so bizarre. But anyways, Nat has an amazing story to tell. She is so relatable, so sweet. It was such a fun conversation. You guys are going to love it as much as I do. So I will let Nat tell her story. Without further ado, let's welcome Natalie Bally to Raw Intentions podcast. I'm curious about your take on Ozempic and like that whole thing with being in the health and wellness space.
It is so interesting, and I see a lot of influencers that I don't know, let's be clear, because I have like a lot of friends that I've met online through Gymshark and just people that I've met just like organically online that I've become friends with. But I see bigger influencers that I don't know personally that I'm like, oh, you're not being, it's clear to me that you're probably taking something, whether it's performance enhancing drugs or Ozempic.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not being honest about it, and you're posting things of like, these are the top 10 things I did to
Here's
lose
what I eat
fat,
in a day.
what I eat in a day, and you're just like insanely lean. And it's like, I think that I don't want to say like I have an eye for it, but I can kind of see through that more
I'm sure, because you know it actually.
Than a young girl who's watching that being like, this person only eats 12,000 calories a day and she looks like that. It's like, no, she eats like that. She trains crazy and she's on Ozempic or whatever. And it's like, it's alarming to me to not be honest about like what you're on.
Right.
Well, I don't have a huge problem with it. I personally would never, but like if that's your tea, then fine, whatever. But I don't really like when people are not honest about what they're doing. And if you're not going to be honest, that's fine. Just like don't post about it.
Do you see a lot of dishonesty in the
I think space? So, and I think a lot of people, especially in those like what I eat in a day, I think they're fake.
Yeah.
Like I really, not everyone, but I do think a lot of them are very like curated to look a certain way.
Sure.
And it's like, one, I don't really care what you're eating in a day, but also unless there's like a live stream camera into your home and I can see everything you're eating in a day, I kind of think that you're lying.
Yeah.
And like for meal ideas and stuff, great, that's fine. But like to say that is all you eat in a day and that's what your tea is, like, I don't know. It is a little bit.
I think I agree with that because even when I do like a day in the life or a week in the life vlog, I'm fucking like making it the craziest day of my life ever. I'm like, here I am taking the gondola to the grocery store. I never do that, but I'm like doing it to like have content.
Yes, there's a wow factor to it because the point of, or not the point of, but a lot of people who post online do it to get the engagement. They want people to see their content and engage and come back. That's how you make money online. So like there's almost like an incentive to lie or like zhuzh it up a little bit to get people to be interested in you.
Well, I'm curious too, because you've been in the space for so long and you were like, I feel like one of the OG fitness girls.
I want to say I started my fitness account in 2017.
That's when I started
2017 or 2018.
So that was
2017, like my sophomore year of college.
Content creators were a thing at all.
Yes.
I feel like influencer wasn't even coined yet. It was like still like bloggers.
No, so I don't want to say I grew up, but like senior year of high school, I graduated in 2016 and then I went away to school and I went to Miami of Ohio my first year of college, and I fucking hated it. Great school.
Really?
But it was not for me.
Is it close to where you're from in Cleveland?
No, it's like 4.5 hours away in the middle of cornfields. There's nothing out there.
Isn't it funny that it's called University of Miami?
Yes.
Like that's...
it's in, I was going to say it's in Miami of Ohio. It's not. It's in a city called Oxford.
Okay.
And it's a cool school, but it's a big party school. And as soon as I got there, I realized, I don't want to drink like that 7 days a week and black out. And like, this is crazy. So I spent a lot of time by myself. I spent a lot of time going to the gym and I was very active before that. I grew up very active. My dad was a bodybuilder, like whole thing, but spent a lot of time alone and I would watch like fitness YouTubers who are now, they're still like influencers, but they were like vloggers on YouTube, not huge followings like they have now. And I would literally sit in my dorm room on the weekends and like watch them. I'd go to the gym. I'd follow their workouts. It was a lot of like bikini prep, bodybuilding style stuff, which I never, was kind of in. Yes, I never competed, but that was very much how I used to train a lot. And I would watch them constantly. And I had no desire to be like, I'm going to start a fitness account and I'm going to get big like this. I want to vlog. I was just like, I really like watching these people. Then I transferred to Ohio State my second year of college, and like midway through the first semester, I was like posting stuff constantly. Like Ohio State has the craziest gym ever. There's like 6 gyms on campus. The main gym is at least back then was the biggest college gym in the country. Like crazy cool facilities. So I was just there all the time because I was bored. I was having a hard time making friends there. And I would just post like gym selfies on my stories all the time. And I was like, people from high school probably don't really want to see this. So I made my separate account and that's kind of how it started. And it was very low key for probably the first like 6 to 8 months. And then that following summer is when it really kind of caught on and I was literally just posting swipe workouts at like my local rec center.
What is swipe workouts?
Like a carousel. Like there was no Instagram reels. It was literally like I'd post like a mirror selfie and then I'd post like 6 clips of my workouts every single day.
On your stories?
No, on my feed. And I'd post it every single day. And that was kind of like what got my account traction. Like I used to get like I go back and look at those posts and they don't even look good. The quality is so bad. I'm like, this is embarrassing that I even posted this. But they have like 35,000 likes. I would get like 2,000 followers from one post just because of the algorithm. There was no reels.
It was literally like an algorithm. Really,
not like there is now. So that's kind of how my account really blew up. then got into Gymshark and like kind of from there just continued. Yeah, it's been wild, and I've seen Instagram change so much. Like when I first started, TikTok didn't even exist.
Yeah, same.
Like at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Well, and it's crazy too, having your account for so long, like seeing how that can affect like the business side of things.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I mean, my business, even when I only had 10,000 followers or something, or 5,000 at the beginning, every single person that followed me saw every single thing that I posted.
Yeah.
And so our sales were like exponentially, whereas like now, even with like almost 80K followers, sometimes only like 20 people like my post.
Right. You're like fighting for views.
You're fighting for views, and you're fighting for space in like such a saturated market. And
100%.
it's just so crazy and obviously they want to make money, you know, they want us to pay for all of that. So it's just such bullshit. But thinking back to at the beginning when you just started posting these like gym selfies, did you have like any plan at all? Like what made you start even posting? Was it just like an outlet for you? Did you just like the YouTube
was an outlet.
girlies?
Yeah. So I don't think I started YouTube for much long, and I don't do YouTube like I haven't posted on YouTube in like 2 years, I think. But I love the YouTube girlies. I love like even now my wardrobe, me being in jeans and a sweater this early in the day.
Yeah.
Like the jeans and a sweater is like a 2 times a month like thing. I am in activewear constantly. So that was also like most of my closet was activewear. I love putting on a cute little activewear set. So a lot of it was just like, here's my gym fit for the day. That's kind of how it started. And then also at the time, like I was having a hard time making friends all through college.
And do you think that was just because you weren't into the like parties?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would go to those spaces and I was just like, oh, I do not fit in here. Like these are not my people. Yeah. Not that they were bad people. I was just like, I do not, like I was just not clicking with them at all. And pretty much all 4 years of college, my best friends were my roommates. Like I became very close with my roommates. And then I met some girls through them. My sophomore year when I first transferred to Ohio State, I lived with 2 other girls who transferred. Oh, nice. And they were both in sororities. I was not. I rushed at Miami, hated it, dropped, tried to rush again in Ohio State, didn't even finish rush. I was like, fuck this. I hate this so much. And actually, when I dropped at Ohio State, my dad called me later that day. I was like very upset about it because I was just like, I just want friends. Like, why is this so hard? And he was like, okay, well, I looked into like the personal training program there. You can take these classes on top of your other classes like we pay. You can train at the gym there, like be a trainer at the gym there. And that's how I got I don't have my certification anymore. Like I haven't kept it, but that's how I got my certified personal training certificate or whatever. Okay. But when I was posting like on my Instagram and stuff, some of my friends, like my roommates' friends or like whatever friends from home would message me and be like, hey, will you write me like a workout program? Like, I'll pay you $50 if you write me a workout program.
No
and I was like,
way.
Okay, that's fine. Sure. Like I would love
also
to.
You probably enjoy that.
Yeah.
So you're like,
and
sure.
then in June, my account kind of started taking off and a lot of people would message me like, hey, will you write me a workout program? Whatever. Yeah. So that August, September, when I went back to school, I like built a little website, literally made a workout program on Microsoft Word. Like it is so basic. I still have it on my, like files on my computer and stuff.
Can you send it to me?
Yes, absolutely. So basic. Yeah. I took a picture on my college like balcony as like the cover photo. It's like looking back, it's sweet because I'm like, oh, that's so corny, but I thought it was so cool at the time. And I made a ton of money doing it. Like I was like, wow, what the hell? You can make this money online. Like I am not going to grad school. This is fucking awesome. And then right about that same time, Gymshark had reached out to me. Not to like sign me as an athlete. They were just like, hey, we see what you're doing. We love what you're doing. We'd love to send you some stuff and like support you. And as soon as I got that email, I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Like that's the goal. Right. Because the people that I was watching on YouTube were Gymshark athletes at the time. And so I was like, oh, this is coming full circle. Like this is what I'm this is the goal. This is what I'm doing. So I think like January, February, the following year I signed with Gymshark and I was with them for 4 years.
And that was your senior year?
Junior year.
Yes.
Okay. And I was with them for 4 years. Great experience, truly.
What does that look like? Because I've seen Gymshark in the space for years, but I've never really been in the fitness space like that. But I know that that's like a thing.
Yes,
like
it's so
being
different
a Gymshark
now. It's so different now. I'm like very removed from the community now. I haven't been with them for 2 or 3 years now. The years are all blurring together, especially with COVID. I'm like,
I'm sure. You're like, when was that?
But back then it was Gymshark athletes only. They didn't like work with people in other ways. Like they might do a little bit of gifting here and there, but it was like you're either signed or you're not. Now it's a lot of like, there's still the core athletes, but it's a lot of like affiliates, people who have a code with them, but they're not exclusive, all that stuff. So we all had different deliverables, but like monthly deliverables. And then I only got to do one because of COVID, but the October, November before COVID, they did a Lyft event, which is when they do like a huge pop-up in cities. And we went to Houston and it was so much fun.
Cool.
Like they were just that was one of the coolest experiences of my life. Just Gymshark as a whole. They are such an awesome organization and community, like truly go above and beyond for their athletes. And just like, I was like, at the time I was struggling a lot with my mental health, being away from family, being away from my boyfriend, having like, it was the first time college was the first time in my life that I was like, oh, this is what anxiety is. Like, I didn't know what that felt like. I did not know what it was like. I literally thought I was going crazy.
Did you recognize it immediately, or did it take you a while to figure out like, okay, this isn't just me, this is my anxiety?
Yeah, my freshman year of college, I was like, as the kids say now, like crashing out
every
fucking day. Like it was crazy. Wow. And I grew up like very privileged in a predominantly white community. No issues. I was just kind of cruising through life.
You're just vibing.
And that was the first time where I was like, oh my God, like something's wrong with me. I literally thought I was going crazy. And I don't remember who said it to me, but somebody was like, I think you have anxiety. Like, I think you're going to be okay, but I think you have anxiety. And it honestly just got progressively worse until like my junior or senior year. But that was a lot of what I would talk about on my fitness page. Really? And so when I did the big pop-up with Gymshark in Houston, they like let me do a little like I was gonna say TED Talk, not TED Talk,
like
but
a panel kind of,
and like talk about mental health to like the guests and stuff.
Way.
And it was so cool. And like I'm obviously not qualified to like speak on it from like a professional level, but talking about my experience and stuff, like it was very cool. They were just like very uplifting to like everybody's individual journey, and it wasn't just all like we're gonna be like meathead gym bros. Yeah, it was really cool, and like that was one of like I still reflect on that as one of the most like uplifting, positive experiences that I was a part of. I just thought that was really cool. So Gymshark was and I have met so many cool people through it. Like,
that you're still friends with.
I definitely outgrew the brand, outgrew the style of clothing and stuff. Like it's definitely very like early 20s, bright colors, patterns. It's not really my vibe anymore. But I have not a bad word to say about them. Like they truly were. Cool. It was such a good experience and really gave me a lot of opportunity outside of Gymshark as well. But yeah, met so many people. Some of my closest friends I met through Gymshark, and like, just such a cool experience.
And community, And I'm sure talking about that in a public forum like that would have probably helped you deal with your anxiety because it was so new to you. 100%. And I'm sure that you had people like coming up to you after, like people DMing you, being like, no,
I still get messages like that.
Yeah.
And it's so heartwarming to be like, because I just like, and I have always felt this way. I just feel like such a normal person, like a normal, average, standard person. Like there's nothing setting me apart in a crazy way. And I don't say that in like a self-deprecating way. I just think that I'm like pretty normal and like average. And so like to get messages like that, I think it's so cool that like me just sharing my life online has impacted somebody else, even in a small way of like they would message me and say something nice like that. Like that's so cool.
And go out of their way.
It's just very sweet and like really puts it into perspective that like whatever I'm putting out there is reaching other people. And my perspective and like relationship with social media has changed a lot, but it is really cool to get messages like that and just be like, oh my God, I am reaching somebody else and like making a positive impact. Because when I was in college watching those videos on YouTube, like that's what that was doing for me in a different way. It wasn't very mental health focused, but like that was my escape, for lack of a better term, and was positively influencing me to have better behaviors that then contributed positively to my mental health. But like, yeah, it is really cool because it feels like, oh, I like used to do that. Like I used to be on the other end of that, and I still am. I am like very much a consumer of content and other people, and I cycle through like who I'm watching, what I'm into, whatever. But like, it does affect my life. I'm a very influenced person by the internet. Yeah.
Well, and I think that I'm sure that makes you a better influencer, you know, like in this space.
And,
you know, like back then that probably just made you feel less alone. Like you said, it was 100%. Your escape, and it made you feel like
that's
not crazy.
Friend.
You're like, why am I crazy? And like, I can't binge drink like these people, or I can't relate to these people. And then you see online these people that you're like, oh wait, no, I relate more to them.
100%.
And I relate to that too. Like, just feeling like a normal average person. And I don't think as much about getting vulnerable. Like when I share when I'm like struggling with things or like what I'm going through, that doesn't take a lot for me. Like I don't mind sharing that.
No.
And I don't think about it as much until I get messages like, thank you so much for saying this. Like I was struggling with X, Y, and Z as well. Or like when I get messages about my podcast, like
it's so sweet.
That like makes my whole day. I'm like, wow. Like,
because we're sitting here. I'm not thinking about people like tuning in and listening to
No,
this,
because we can't see anyone.
Exactly.
So we don't know who's listening, if anyone's listening. Like half the time, and like when I'm in those places where I'm not doing so well, like mentally, I'm like, everyone hates me. No one is tuning in. Like no one cares. I'm going to quit the podcast. I'm going to go back to college.
Yeah,
like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life,
Yeah.
And then it's like those messages that just totally change you. It's so amazing.
It's crazy. It is. And like people going out of their way to do that, that's the part that really gets me. I'm like, you did not. Like, even if you listened and it positively impacted you, great. I listen to so many things that positively
and I don't say anything.
And I never say anything.
Same.
I might tell a friend or tell my sister, my mom about like, oh, this cool thing I heard today, blah, blah, blah. But like, I am not somebody who's like messaging people online. So like, and I encourage it. Like, I don't have a problem with people messaging me, but it is so sweet. I'm just like, you just like went way out of your way to do that. That's so sweet.
Well, and I try to think about that too. Like, I don't really feel this way anymore. I don't know if you've gotten past this, like the fear of like being judged, like you talked about at the beginning. Like
I'm currently getting over.
What if like people from high school see this or something? Like, I think that's a muscle. Like people DM me all the time and they're like, like you seem like you don't care about what anyone thinks, blah, blah, blah. Like how do you do that? And it's such like a practice. Cause there are times when I'm about to post something and I'm like, fuck, like, what are people going to think about this? What are they going to judge?
Almost every single day.
And getting past that and like choosing not to care, I think is how you move through that and become more confident in yourself.
100%.
But I also try to remember for every message that I get that is like a really positive message or like, hey, this really touched me. There's probably like 10 people that felt the same way, but didn't say anything.
Right.
And that's what I try to focus on. Cause I'm like, if they're talking shit about me or sending my post around like people from high school with 2 kids and that are already divorced, I'm like, I don't really fucking care.
Yeah.
Like that's
the people
fine.
that I know personally, if they're hating on me, I actually care less than like strangers. My fear of posting stuff is the perception of people I don't know, which is almost more crazy.
I know. Yeah.
It's actually
like these
more
anonymous
crazy.
People.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't even know that you exist, but I don't want you judging me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
like, that's
agree.
crazy.
So you've kind of ebbed and flowed with social media. I mean, over the last, because you've been in the space for what, like 8 years now?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I'm sure you've changed so much. I mean, the growth that happens. I was
19 when I started.
Which is
online.
wild.
Like, I'm a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was 21 when I started Raw and Rebellious. Like, it's so crazy to think about. No, I know. And so you've gone through so many changes with your own life. You've moved. You've had changes with your body, with your hormones.
Yes.
So I'd love for you to touch on that because I know that it's been a huge mental health journey. And as someone that shows face and shows their body on social media all the time, like when you're not feeling 100%, like that sucks and it makes you not want to show up.
Yeah, so that was kind of the big reason. If you've been following me for more than a couple years, like there was a huge shift. That was more to the general audience.
Yeah.
Like if you've been following me. But I used to post pretty much every single day and I was like very adamant about it, not in a way that I was like militant about it, but I was just like, this is what I do. This is the structure. This is the routine. I was also in college, so it was a lot easier to be disciplined with it because I had to be disciplined with like my schoolwork and everything else. And then graduated college 2020, moved back home, not home to my parents, but like home to Cleveland, lived by myself for a year. Hated it. That was like my nightmare. I was like, I want a year to live by myself because I'm going to move in with Tristan and like I just want to be independent. I've always had roommates. I hated it. I was at my parents' house every day. I was at Tristan. Tristan was living at home with his parents. I was at Tristan's parents' house every day. I fucking hated it.
I've never lived alone.
Oh my God. I did.
It wasn't for you?
It was not for me. I was going to say wouldn't recommend it, but actually my sister lives alone and has for like 5 or 6 years now.
A lot of my friends love it.
And she loves it.
Yeah.
I hated it. I was too lonely.
Are you more extroverted or introverted, would you say?
It kind of depends. With my friends, I'm very extroverted. With like a new group of people, I'm not super loud and like in your face, but I just loved having roommates and like waking up in the morning. My friend was in the kitchen and we could like chit chat and like now I live with Tristan.
Together.
I love that. And that we can just have a little bit of banter and like I enjoyed the company of another person. I'm definitely a yapper, but like in general, I just like enjoyed the company of another person.
I get that.
But yeah, so moved home for a year or lived by myself for a year. And then Tristan and I moved out. We moved out here together and we moved in for the first time together here. Okay. So that was a journey.
How was that?
Obviously worked out fine. It was just a huge adjustment.
Totally.
Because we had been long distance for 4.5 years at that point.
And you all met in high school.
We met right before we graduated high school. We didn't go to high school together. He slid into my DMs on Twitter. I know that your original question was about hormones, so I'm getting there. No.
I'm so ADD. Like,
it's okay.
Wait, tell me everything.
Slid into my DMs on Twitter. We had like a couple mutual friends. Started hanging out. We started dating like 2 weeks before we went away to college. 4 4.5 hours apart.
Oh my God.
So that
were y'all like worried?
journey.
I mean, you're so young at that point.
We were just like, I don't know,
whatever.
let's give it a try. Actually, when we were talking about it, I was like, well, this was literally the conversation, which is so funny. I was like, maybe we can just like see each other when we come home for break. Like, really, like, you're cool, but like, no, I just like didn't. I couldn't really read what he's like Tristan is he does not wear his emotions on his face. Like he's pretty stoic and he's very quiet.
Yeah.
So and so like, I just didn't really know how to read him. And I was like, I'd love to like see you when we come home for break, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, I think it would be a mistake if we didn't try to do this. So yeah, that's been, like 9 years now, almost 9 years this summer. Yeah, that's crazy. But we moved out here together. Moved in together. That was for the first, like, I'd say 2 months. It was an adjustment of just like sharing space, how our habits kind of mesh. Because it wasn't like we'd been together for all that time and like I spent a ton of time at his place and he spent a ton of time at my place. Like we'd see each other often, but like we were not like in each other's space like that before.
Which is a huge adjustment.
And also, which shout out to him because I didn't really think about this, but when we were moving out here, he's like, we have to get a 2-bedroom apartment. Like we need the extra space. And I was like, okay. Like, I don't really go like whatever. He was right. Yeah. Like that was a great call on his part. But we were out here for, I'd say like 6-7 months. And I've always struggled with my mental health ever since I got on birth control right before I went to college. Okay. But I always was kind of like, it's situational. Like it's a lot of like my environment. Like I was away from home dealing with separation anxiety, whatever. I just never wanted to like quote unquote blame it on my birth control and kind of like give into that. But I have a lot of older friends who were like, I came off birth control because it was affecting my mental health. It was affecting my internal health, all this stuff. And so
it's also really interesting. Like when you think about hormones, like when I'm about to start my period and I'm like crying about something or I'm really upset or I'm really anxious and I haven't been on birth control for years, but even just like hormones in general, I'm not immediately thinking like, oh, this must be my hormones doing this to me. I'm just like, I'm
fucking crazy right now.
Exactly. And so it probably also took you a while to even like think about that in separate terms because it's just your brain. Like you're not thinking about it like that.
And I think always in the back of my mind, I was like, this could be affecting it, but I never wanted to be like, it's that thing.
Right.
And so I had Nexplanon, which is the bar that goes in your arm. Got it. And I had it for, you have to get it replaced every 3 years. So I got it when I was 18 and then 21, and then I was turning 24. Is that right? I don't, like I said, COVID is making the years blend together. Whatever. I was about to hit that 3-year mark where I was gonna have to get it taken out. And Tristan and I, like I said, had been living together, and I had like no sex drive at all. On top of like the mental health issues I was having. Yeah. But that was like very alarming to me. I'm like, we just moved in together.
You
like
should be wanting to
I was just like absolutely like get away from me. Like, not in a rude way, but I just was like, it was very different. And also, I think it was very, like, I was very aware of it because we were long distance before. So it was like, I'd only see him on the weekends every 3 weeks. Oh, so like, we only had that little bit of time. And so I was excited to see him. But then when we lived together, I was like, I was like, ew, I don't like you. But I was just like, I have no sex drive. So
did that like affect y'all's relationship at the
not
time?
Really. I think that had I let it go on, yes, but I kind of brought it up to him and I was just like, hey, I'm feeling this way and I think I want to get off my birth control. And I had a friend at the time who had just come off of hers as well. So she was kind of like talking to me about why she was coming off of it, whatever. I had like a brief conversation with my mom, more so that she was aware of it, not because I was like, can I come off of it?
Yeah,
like I'm an adult. But I just kind of wanted to have that conversation with her so she was aware. And at the time I was still on my parents' insurance. We had just moved out here. I didn't have like a primary care physician out here. So I actually flew home to see my gynecologist to get it taken out of my arm. My dad works for the Cleveland Clinic. So like all of our insurance is through the Cleveland Clinic. So went home, got it taken out. She was a bitch about it. And she was like, so what are you planning? Like, do you want something else? Because if you don't get on birth control, you're going to get pregnant. That's literally what she said to me. And I was like, okay. And at the time, I had already decided that I didn't want to be on anything, did my natural cycle subscription, whatever. I have my Aura right now.
Which also, like, I hate that that's such a common experience. Like, every gyno I've been to, because I haven't been on birth control since COVID, they, like, switched me to some generic brand because I was just taking the pill. Yeah. And it fucked me so bad, like, was so awful. And so I just got off it. And anytime, I have a gyno now who's amazing. But before that, every gyno would, like, try to push me onto it. And I'm like, it doesn't work for my body. And I don't really want to go through that whole let's try different things and just feel fucking crazy and gain weight and,
and be
get acne
all over
for
the place.
months.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and also, I have obviously have not seen that gynecologist since, but I'd love to go back to her and say, hey, by the way, when I came off that birth control, because we'll get there in a second, but like my body went whack, my skin, my weight gain, everything. So I got it out in February of 2022.
Okay.
And in like July, August, I had like my final breakdown about it. And I was like, I need to go see a doctor about this. I need to get something tested because like this is not right. Like I feel like a stranger in my body. I have changed nothing about my habits, my exercise, my eating, nothing. I'd gained like 40 pounds.
What?
Yes. I had, which probably 20 of those I probably needed to gain because I was just like, I look back at pictures of myself in college and I'm like, girl, you need to, and I was eating a ton. I was just very tiny, especially like on my frame. I'm 5'10". Like it just looks a little bit alarming. I'm like, okay, your eyeballs are a little bit sunken in, girl. But I gained 40 pounds.
In how long? What was the
from February to August.
Oh my God.
And like truly, and the only thing towards like closer to July, August, I stopped working out as much and I was doing like Pilates, whatever, because my joints, specifically my knees, which I don't have great knees, but like I've dislocated my knees a couple times, but I like I'd work out like I would normally do. And the next day I literally couldn't get off the couch because my joints would ache so much. Like I couldn't take the dog on a walk. I was just so uncomfortable. So I was like, something is wrong here. Yeah. Like what the hell's going on? And I knew that coming off birth control was going to kind of like cause some changes. There'd be something. I didn't think it was going to be like I'd be off and nothing changed.
Yeah.
But it was like very extreme and I was super uncomfortable in my body. And so I went and got a hormone panel done. It's called the Dutch test. Went to a functional medicine doctor here in Denver. He was great. Got my blood drawn, everything. And my progesterone levels, which causes you to ovulate, were that of a postmenopausal woman who does not ovulate or have a period. So the gynecologist who told me that if I did not get on birth control, I would get pregnant. Girl, I can't get pregnant because I'm not ovulating.
Oh
my cycles were like...
Were you getting a period?
My cycles were like 60 to 80 days apart. I was not ovulating because like that's when you do your temperature. They track your temperature spike for ovulation.
That's how they know that you're ovulating.
They were like 60 to 80 days apart. I was not ovulating. And then I'd be like, this is kind of gross. But like it would not be like a normal bleeding period. It would be like...
Like gushing?
No. It would be like almost like dry brown, like...
Like flaky?
Not flaky, but like it was basically just like my uterus shedding because it had so much had piled up, but like it wasn't a proper period, if that makes sense, without being like too gross and graphic. But like it was just, I was not having like a normal, like now I have a normal regular period where you bleed and it's red blood and like normal, whatever. Yeah, that was alarming. The weight gain, the lack of period, my hormonal acne, which is so much better now, but has lasted pretty much until like the end of last year. Like within the last couple months, it's really cleared up a lot. I'm working on my scarring and stuff now, but no, my hormonal acne, like I would have 12 to 15 breakouts at a time just on my jaw, right here on my cheek. Like it is truly crazy. So saw a functional medicine doctor, got my hormone panels done, all that good stuff. And they were great, but it just kind of got to the point where I was paying out of pocket to go see them, which was worth it, but because they would kind of do what I wanted. Like I did my own research. I'm very much like research your own, like for me personally, research my own health issues.
Well, you kind of need to do that to advocate
and like,
for yourself.
But I think a lot of people are just like, I don't feel good. I'm going to go to the doctor and see what they say. And like, had I done that, I would have gone to primary care physician, whatever, gynecologist here, and they would have probably recommended I go back on birth control, and I would have said no. And then they would have said, for your skin, go on spironolactone, which is like an oral medication that helps with your skin.
I'm on spironolactone.
I don't know too much about it, but like I just know that was an option.
Yeah.
Or would have recommended something else. There's another, it starts with an M, I can't remember, but it's for like weight control on when you get off birth control. And I'm like, I don't want to say I was raised anti-medicine, but like my parents were not like throwing medicine at us left and right.
Yeah, you want to find like a holistic, you're like, I don't want to get off medication and then get on another one to wean myself off.
Correct. And so like, I think that's something I probably, because I've never been on medication for my mental health either. And in like looking back in college, like probably would have been helpful. At this point in my life, I'm at the point where like, when I start to kind of get into a depressive state, I'm like, this is lifestyle. Like I need to get out. I need to either be exercising more, eating better, sleeping better. Yes. And that's always kind of been like, that's how my parents just raised me and my sister. And so that's has always been my approach. But after I got my panels done, it was just very expensive. And I would go in and like give them updates and they're like, good job, keep it up. And I was like, okay, I'm not paying $600 every month to come in here. This is crazy. So I stopped going there solely because of the money. It just was like, they weren't adding any past the testing and initial protocols and stuff.
Giving you the info.
Yes. And that was like September of 2022. And then later that I followed this girl who actually used to be a Gymshark athlete. We were never like super close friends, but followed her online and she posted a ton about her PCOS journey. And at the time she was talking a lot about acupuncture. And I was like, I could get into that.
Yeah.
I was driving to pick up Tristan's birthday gift one day and we were living up in Broomfield and I drove past a sign like outside of this little house that was clearly like an office space for like practitioners, whatever, of this woman who did acupuncture. So I literally took a picture of it and then I went on her website and filled out her thing and I still see her once a month now.
Really?
And I love her. And on top of a lot of like lifestyle factors and stuff, I think that she is the reason that I got my period back. So it's not traditional acupuncture where you see pictures of like people have 25 needles in their back. She does one at a time. She like pokes me, twists it, and pulls it out. It's called 5 elements acupuncture. It's traditional Chinese medicine. It's just like a different way of practicing it. And it works on your like chi and energy flow through your body and stuff. And when I went in and told her like all the issues I was having, she's like, okay, the first thing we're going to work on is your temperature regulation because my body temperature was not rising so that I could ovulate. And within 3 months, I was having my period regularly.
Wow.
Yes. And I still see it's helped me a lot mentally. She's actually kind of turned into like my therapist. She's doing both for me. I love her to death. But yeah, that's been like the biggest thing, again, on top of like lifestyle factors and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of been all that. But I really when I was gaining all that weight and stuff, like I made my whole platform fitness, health, do you want to look like me? Which is so vain. I now realize that when I was younger, though, it was cool. I was like, oh, people think I look hot.
Yeah,
like,
and they want to look like
sick.
me.
Yeah,
totally.
And I still think it's important to have a healthy body. Obviously, it just looks a lot different now. Like I said, I'll look back at pictures of myself and I'm like, girl, you're looking sick. But when I gained all that weight and my skin was breaking out, I didn't even want to look in the mirror, let alone, and like I said earlier, I don't want strangers judging me online. Yeah. At that point, I think it also was like people that I knew, like I didn't even want to go home and see my family. Like I was just like, I don't look the same. I look like a different person than when I moved out here. I feel like a different person. My self-confidence was out the window. It was just
so tough.
Like looking back at pictures and stuff, I just feel so sad for myself. And like I look back and it was like, you were struggling and like we're always struggling with something, but like look, it was like all consuming, and at the time that was my full-time job, full-time source of income, I should say. Like I would not post I just like did not want to post myself. I just felt very uncomfortable,
and uncomfortable in your own skin
and I also felt super unqualified to be talking about anything fitness and posting anything about like a workout, because I'm like, girl, you just gained 40 pounds and it felt so out of my control.
And you had no idea why.
Yeah.
So you're like,
well, I kind of knew why, but I didn't know what to do about it. I didn't know what to do about it, which also felt very foreign because I was raised in like, we eat really healthy. Like my parents' idea of like junk food was like pretzel rods. Like, we did not have like
that's what my parents
I joke that I have an almond mom and an almond dad, and both my parents are very healthy, not in like a restrictive way. Yeah. They're just like, I did not have that stuff growing up.
Yeah, we didn't either.
But I just felt super uncomfortable, did not want people to perceive me at all. And that kind of took me back from posting online. And then my Gymshark contract was up that year. And I was like, it just was no longer a fit for me personally. And also I think they were kind of like, I was not really meeting my deliverables or anything. So I wasn't posting anything. And they were very sweet about it. Like there was no hard feelings. It was kind of a mutual, like, okay, we're done. Yeah. I've never had a mutual breakup before in my life. That was like my only mutual breakup. And just continued to kind of take a step back. I'd do like a brand deal here and there if I got it, but wasn't really anything. And I was like, okay, maybe I need a real job. Like,
were you posting like, hey guys, I'm going through this, I don't know what's going on? Or were you like,
I was so embarrassed.
Cold turkey? Or like, what were you putting out there if you were doing a brand
deal? It would be like here and there, and it would be like I used to do, like my YouTube channel used to be mostly like try on hauls for Gymshark, where I'd be just showing you a full body, full outfit, like everything. And I was like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. Like this is, I didn't say anything about it too specific, or I just wouldn't like share too much. It'd have to be a really good day for me to feel like comfortable posting. And I would have to I've never like edited my body, edited my face. Like I'll put a filter on to like smooth my face or whatever.
Like face tuning anything.
Yeah. But like it would have to be something where I was like very posed. It was like the
certain
perfect
angle.
Picture. Yes, like, or it would be like a mirror picture and like most of my face was covered and I had a big shirt on or sweatpants or whatever. Like it was very 0 to 100 of like me posting every day, being very fitness focused. I'd post all my meals. I'd show what I was eating. And I just felt like as I was trying to figure out what was going on with me and how to deal with it, I just like was like, one, I want to have this moment for myself to kind of figure this out and then maybe I'll feel comfortable posting about it. But I definitely just like, I just was like, I don't feel qualified to be talking about this at all because I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And I don't want to come online and be like, something's wrong with me. I don't know. Because I'm also very almost like overly aware of the way I'm being perceived online because I'm such a consumer of media that like I'm not necessarily judging other people, but I'm paying attention to what people are posting.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
I don't know. You knew it from that lens too. You were like, I just don't even want to be perceived at all.
Yeah, that was basically like, I don't want to be perceived. And so middle of 2023, I was like, maybe we need to start looking for a real job because you are spending money and you're not making any money. And that was also kind of embarrassing because it was also so cool. Like in my personal life to be like, oh my God, I make all this money online. This is so cool. My job's so fun. Yeah, this is awesome. And I just felt so down on myself and not able to like pull myself out of it to put that aside and be like, okay, girl, you still need to be making money. Yeah. And luckily I had a lot of money saved, but I did go through a lot of my savings and not a lot, but like a significant amount in that time where I was like, okay, if we keep doing this, like it's not going to be good for us. And so I was like, maybe I should start looking for a new job. And the job, I work for ProMix now. I do all of our socials. And I got that job because one of the co-founders of ProMix was one of my good friends at Gymshark. And they were hiring. And I was like, hey, I'd love to take a stab at this. Like, and I'd been familiar with ProMix before. Like they had sent me some stuff and product. I'd never worked with them like as a brand, but I'd tried their stuff before. And ProMix is all like, I don't want this to be a plug for my job.
No, but I'm curious what it is.
ProMix is a supplement company and it's no artificial anything. So like there's no fillers, no additives. Albert, who is our founder and producer, what's the word I'm trying to formulates all of our products, is like very, very picky and meticulous about what goes in our supplements and stuff. And I don't take everything that we have, but like there's no fillers, no gums, soy-free, gluten-free, all that good stuff. And it's just a very unique company in the space of supplements because a lot of supplements, like if you go on TikTok and scroll for 10 minutes, at least my feed, I'm getting like Rise protein bars, Built bars, and it's just like, it's full of shit. And like, it might have 20 grams of protein, but it also has inflammatory
like artificial things that shouldn't be eating.
And so that's also been really cool. Like I just really
you believe in the product.
I really like what ProMix stands for. So that's been really cool. And like I said, I do all of our socials, plan shoots. It's been really, really fun. It's a small team, so kind of a lot of overlap and like we're kind of all
wearing a bunch of hats.
Yes, which is super fun. And it's been a great experience for my first job, honestly. Yeah.
And then
first real job, I should say.
And were you having to like fit that in any kind of schedule, or I guess at this point you weren't posting at all? So were you just like,
I wasn't really posting much at all. I
was like a full-time job then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't posting at all in terms of like trying to make money. Okay. Like I'd post like if we were doing a fun hike on the weekends or like whatever. Was not like trying to make money. Here and there I'd do a brand deal for like, I'm trying to think, like I did an Eddie Bauer brand deal one Christmas season. Stuff like that. I have like really taken a step away from like the gym space of it all because like my page used to be all Gymshark, like that was pretty much it. And moving out here, which I personally enjoy, I don't think it does as well in terms of like engagement or whatever of like me doing fun stuff out in the mountains on the weekends because like I'm not selling you anything really, but
the gym.
So ProMix full-time, it's completely remote, which I love. That was the one thing when I was looking for a job because I have a dog. I'm like, and I got her. She's a COVID puppy, like Christmas COVID. I got her early 2021, and I have been home with her every day since I got her. And I was like, I am not going into an office. We both have separation anxiety. Like I'm like, I'm not. I feel so bad. It's not. Well, I guess it is anxiety. I would just feel bad leaving her. Like, what is she supposed to do all day in her crate by herself? Like that's so sad. So that was like my one thing where I was like, I don't really care what the job is, but it's got to be remote. Like I'm staying home.
And recently you've started sharing more about your journey and like coming back into yourself. So what has that been like and how has it been like speaking up about it? Because I mean, I have so many friends that have struggled with PCOS and with different hormonal things and like different lifestyle changes. And even like as you grow in your 20s, like I remember when I turned 24, 25, my body like did a 180 in like the worst way. And like my metabolism was different. What I was eating was different. I was like underfeeding myself, probably had a little bit of an eating disorder and it was just like all over the place and everyone's bodies were just changing, you know? And I remember it was very scary because I had no idea what was going on.
Literally nobody prepares you for second puberty. And when I was going through it, I was like, is something wrong with me? Like, am I crazy? But like, I have a younger sister. I have friends who are younger and who are older who are like, no, that's very much real. And like, buckle up, have fun. But so I don't like do New Year's resolutions of like, I'm going to do 10,000 steps a day. Yeah. Or like, I'm going to track my macros. I just try to think of one thing that I really want to, like what my intention for the year is. Yeah. So like the last 2 years, it was very much my health, like prioritizing my health, figuring out what was going on, all that kind of stuff. And this year, my intention is to be more confident and like work on my confidence. Because when I first started posting on the internet, I was so confident. Like I said, I was like, oh my God, people think I'm hot and like in good shape, period. This is so fun. And I think I'm in good shape. Like, this is awesome. And I was very confident about it. Like, I was just like, and I have always been that way. And then when this whole PCOS thing happened, I think it was very tied to my appearance, which is like, I realize a very vain thing to say. No. But it like really destroyed my confidence outside of just my appearance. Like, obviously, like I didn't want to go out with my friends. Like I said, I didn't want to go home and see my family. But like, I didn't want to post online. I just like didn't even want to speak up for myself, which is not like, you talk to any person who has ever met me. Like, I'm speaking up for myself and everyone else in the room. Yeah. Like, I am going to stand up for myself. So it just like really affected me in that way. And so this year, my intention is to be more confident. And part of that is just putting myself out online. And what you were kind of talking about earlier of like, I don't really care what people think about me. And like kind of just even if I do, pushing past that and doing it like anyways. Right, exactly. And so slowly trying to post it more often and just be more active online. To be fair, I've never like not been using social media. Yeah. When I would stop posting, I was consuming just as much. Yes, 100%. And actually, side note, I just downloaded this app called Opal. Have you heard of this? Okay. It's an app that like basically blocks other apps on your phone and you set all the controls. So like from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., I can't go on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook because I work from home on my phone and I post for work. So I'll go on my phone to like post something and then I'm like on Reels like, blah. Yeah. Okay, so you can like take breaks and pause it for like up to 15 minutes. But trying to work on my screen time. And I have noticed, I've had it for like 3 weeks now. In that time, I feel so much more confident posting online because I'm not watching everything that everyone posts. Ooh. And then it stops me from like like, I don't know what that is, but consuming less has made me more willing to post about whatever I'm doing in the day because I'm not so tapped into what everybody else is doing. Yeah. And I don't even think like, I'm not clicking through people's stories being like comparing myself consciously. I'm definitely doing it subconsciously, but it has made me like so much more likely to post. So that's just a side note. You'll have to send me that app. It also told me when I downloaded it, it like took my screen time data and told me that I was on track. This is so embarrassing to say. Okay. I was on track to be on my phone for 44 years of my life. I'm like, what the fuck? When I saw that, I was like, okay, this app is staying on the phone. Oh, isn't that crazy? God. So I have it set during the day, and then I also have it set from 8 p.m. or 8:45. I know. I have it set from 8:30 p.m. to 7:45 in the morning because I usually get up like 6:45, 7 a.m. So for the first like hour of my day, I can be on my phone, but I can't go on social media. Okay,
send me. I need this app.
It is Opal? Incredible. Opal.
Is it expensive?
Okay, so it was $100 for the first year, and whenever I like do a free trial, I immediately go to my subscriptions and delete it. Yeah. And at the end of the first week, it sent me a 50% off thing, so it was only $50 for the year. And I was like, okay, this is fair. After the first week of using it, I was like, okay, I can swing this. This is fine. And also, I haven't posted about it. But you can also post and get like month for free if a friend signs up. So like if you post it on social and somebody else does it, you can get the free month. You can also pay for it month by month. But I was just like, no, I'm biting the bullet and doing it. Dude. I'm not a big subscription person, but that like, I'm sorry, I still think about the 44 years and I'm like, that is so embarrassing.
That's just crazy.
It's crazy. And like my screen time normally my screen time is over 8 hours a day. like on average when I get my screen time report, it's been, because I check the app, like I'm addicted to checking it, like trying to beat my day the day before. My screen time's been like 4 hours or less every day.
You like cut it in half.
I mean, I'm still on my computer screen, but at least it's productive and I'm working. Like I said, I would go on my phone to do something for work and then I'm scrolling for 15 minutes and I'm like, bro, this is so unproductive.
Yeah, I need to figure that out because like you're saying, you cut it off between certain hours, because there are like certain days where I'm like drafting and scheduling all my posts for the week or whatever, but definitely like the nighttime, like if I'm brushing my teeth, I'll like turn on TikTok for what? Like I'm not doing anything productive, or I'll get on my phone to do something for work, like to go post stories or look for something. And then I forget what I'm doing as soon as I open my phone. And then I'm on Reels for like 30 minutes. And like, it's so unproductive.
It's so bad.
And then I like get mad at myself and then it's like a whole thing.
And like I said, so like the time block that I have from whatever, 7:45 until, or excuse me, from, I have in the morning, I can be on my phone from like 7:45 to 9. And then at 9, it shuts down my social apps. And you, like I said, you can pick your apps and whatever. But you can open up the Opal app and it tells you to take a deep breath first. And then it will allow you to take a break. And you can set between 1 minute and 15 minutes to like take a break, and it will unlock your apps. Because sometimes I'm just like, ooh, I'm having an itch. I want to see, like, is there anything else? Or like also like for ProMix, like if I didn't schedule the post for that day and I'm like, okay, I need to make the post or post the stories for that day, I'll just go on and do it real quick. So like it isn't like, I think you can set different difficulty levels where like you can't take a break, like if you're studying or something.
If you're a real addict, it's like, just, please don't let me.
It's just making me a lot more mindful about being on my phone.
Because have you done the settings within the phone where it's like time limit and then you just ignore it?
No, I've never done that, but I know what it is. I know what it is. Maybe I have once or twice because I know what the screen looks like that you're talking about.
Yeah. That's never worked for me because then I just like absentmindedly I'm like ignore it. Like that's never like,
I can click on the Instagram app and it will say like Instagram is blocked. It gives you like a little quote from like I don't know, like it'll give you like some famous quote or something, and then it will say like Instagram blocked 6 times today, which means I tried to open it 6 times while I was
that shows you the muscle memory too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I'm bored. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Actually, Facebook is my worst because I will just scroll
Facebook?
Facebook Reels they're just like so different because like Instagram is like to my feed. Facebook is like slime videos.
So just like crazy.
Yes, it's ridiculous. And I'm just like, ooh, what is this?
Yeah,
like it's very like mind numbing.
It's
just
not
like
curated to you at
all. No.
I didn't even know Facebook
just like
had
satisfying.
Reels.
Yeah, it's literally just like Instagram. But like a lot of my family posts on Facebook, so I like want to see what's going on. I check Facebook once or twice a day. I don't really post on there, but I like to check and see what like adults in my life are doing. And then I get to the Reels and then I can't stop. So that's been good. And using that has made me more confident to post online. Okay. And then I'm also just trying to figure out like, I hate the word niche, but like kind of like, what do I want to post? Because I don't really, I still work out just as much as I did before. It's still just as big of a part of my life. And I've started filming my workouts and stuff again, but I'm like, I don't really consider myself like a fitness influencer like I used to. Like that used to be the only thing I would post. I wouldn't share any of my personal life or anything like that. And then there's like the outdoor creator aspect of living in Colorado, and like I spend a lot of time outdoors. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I like to create content around it. I love to watch other people's content around it, but it doesn't perform as well, which like I try not to care too much about, but I do factor it in, especially if like there are brand deals to be had here and there, like just being mindful of like what might work. But I'm trying to not put myself in a box so much and just kind of post and see what sticks and what doesn't. But there's definitely, I've been posting on stories a lot more, not as much my feed, because that just feels more permanent and a little bit scarier, which is so silly to say. Because like I said, I used to post every day. Like, I don't know something has really flipped in my brain. I also just think like I'm older. I don't really care to like be as like show offy about whatever I'm doing as much as I used to be. So yeah, trying to be more confident this year. And part of that is just putting myself out there, posting online, and just like feeling good about what I'm doing regardless of what other people think. Yeah.
Well, and just like figuring out who you want to show up as now, because you've changed so much. Has there been anything like when you do post certain things that like pop off now that you notice, or not so much?
I was going to say this when I was just saying like, I hate the word niche and trying to find, but like I posted a question box a couple weeks ago and I forget what the question was, but my response to it was something like, I just don't really know where I fit in on here anymore. And like, cause like I follow people who are just beauty creators or just fitness creators or just lifestyle people or whatever. And I got an overwhelming response of people being like, that's why I like to follow you, because you don't post just one thing. And like, you just post and I really think I need to lean back into, like I was saying earlier, like, I just feel like a normal person, just like just kind of sharing my life as it is, because that was like overwhelming. Like, it depends. Sometimes I post things and they really pop off in terms of people responding to me via DM. And that one was like astounding response of just like people being like, that's why I like to follow you, because you don't do one thing and you're not trying to just do the trends or just do the fitness or whatever. And so I screenshotted like all of them. I'm like, okay, I'm using these as a pep talk for when I need to, like, when I'm having a moment. But yeah, I will say, like, I am looking at my computer screen a lot during the day, my phone screen a lot during the day, that when I'm done with my work, I kind of just want to get off my phone, go work out, and then Tristan gets home from work, we're hanging out. Like, I need to set aside like 30 minutes a day to like curate my content, edit whatever needs to be done. Like, I haven't been spending a lot of time on that, because by the end of my day, I'm just like, ugh, we'll do it tomorrow.
Well, now you have a new job. Like, that
right, that's what I'm saying.
Your whole job.
Exactly.
And social media is a full-time job.
Yeah,
so it's hard to like find that new balance. Yeah. And I'm sure you experience burnout like everyone does too. 100%. Like 100%. Being online all the time and like being a consumer as well, because you kind of have to be a consumer in order to be online. So you just know 100%. What the fuck's going on. Right. And I experience that where I'm like, I cannot look at my phone anymore, or like you're posting all this shit, you spent all this time on a video and then it does not perform at all. And you're like, why am I spending my time doing this? You know?
Or like the thing that I spent 2 seconds on blows up and you're just like, okay, I know. What am I doing here?
It's ridiculous. So would you say working out and like being outside, like what are your things that like get you out of your head or like help your anxiety, or like 100%. That's like the self-care things?
Working out for sure. Part of being outside, I will say, like, being outside, especially in Colorado, I've gotten a lot better at snowboarding this year. Like, a lot.
I remember when we first were DMing, like, years ago, like, I don't even think you had snowboard.
No, you're like, we should ski together. I'm like, no, we should not, because I don't know what I'm doing. Like, absolutely not. And I get a lot of those videos that's, like, rich because my boyfriend taught me how to ski or whatever. Like, that is so true. Tristan is so patient with me, and I got it past the first year we lived out here, hated it, was just doing Keystone, couldn't even make it down a green without like wiping out. Just like, oh my God, I hated it. And then second year we lived out here, did not get a pass. Third year we lived out here, got a pass. He snowboards and is so good at it. Like, so funny. He's just very athletic.
That picks up on things. Lore.
Yes. Picks up on things super easy. Yeah. He is so good. He'll go down blues with me now, and he's like doing his little tricks or whatever. And I'm like, okay, we're not wiping out. I'm getting actually a lot better this year.
Yay.
But last year he was taking me, and we actually went up to Eldora, and I was like, you know what? Like, maybe I need to like switch, because I snowboard. I'm like, maybe let's try with my other foot forward. As soon as we flipped my bindings, I'm like, oh my God, are you joking? Like, no this way. Is crazy. It was so much easier. Like, no. I ride normal, regular? But he rides goofy. And so he had I was using one of his, he's got like 6 boards. Yeah. And so I was using one of his boards and bindings. And so they were set goofy. Now I can ride so much better. Like, I'm getting so much better.
Yay!
And then I just, also moving out here, like, well, this was to answer your original question. I love being outside, and it does help me a lot mentally. But sometimes it does give me anxiety just because of like the potential danger of whatever I'm doing. Sure. I'm extremely accident prone, like extremely. So I'm just very paranoid about getting hurt.
Yeah, that's fair. And I feel like when we get older, we're just worried about that stuff.
And like, I grew up in Ohio. The most like wild animal there is like a coyote that you might see out in the woods, which I've never seen before. I get really nervous out here, especially when I'm by myself or by myself with the dog. Like,
about wildlife.
Yes, like I've never had a negative encounter, but I've seen a lot of moose, and moose freak me the fuck out.
Moose are scary.
They really, really scare me. I actually this fall had the first like saw a moose out in the wild, and it was the first time where I was like calm, and I was like, this is the most incredible, beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I wasn't nervous.
Good.
And I don't know, my mind just goes to like worst possible case scenario, but like I get kind of freaked out when I'm by myself. I've never had a negative experience, but like it's just kind of always like the paranoia is always looming a bit.
Yeah.
So I will say like getting outside does help my anxiety, like when I'm with friends or with Tristan, but when I'm by myself, I'm like, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm just like,
you're like,
what was that?
Yeah.
But, and especially with the snowboarding, I do, like I said, getting better, but like it does freak me out that I might hurt myself. So I'm very cautious, I will say. Like, I will stop myself. I'm like, we're going too fast. Like, no, we're going to wipe out. Like, because last year when I was still like learning, getting better, whatever, I was by myself and I caught an edge really bad and I hit my head so hard. And as soon as I sat up, I literally checked for my teeth because I thought that I had knocked my teeth. Like, I hit my head so hard, I literally, like, stuck my hand in my mouth.
You catch an edge on a snowboard, I mean, you, like...
Bro, it was... hit my
quick.
head so hard.
Yeah.
And so I'm just, like, a little bit of a nervous wreck with stuff like that. Not a nervous wreck, but I am just, like, there is a level of paranoia of,
That's
like,
fair.
Be careful, do not hurt yourself. Because also, like, I've dislocated both my knees, but when I was a lot younger, like I was in like middle school, and like I've had some issues with them since, but I've had no major injury as an adult. Like, what would I do if I broke my leg as an adult? Like, I'm sorry, that, like, are you a baby?
Around.
Why did you break your leg?
No,
so
totally.
Like that does freak me out. But for like my anxiety and stuff, definitely the gym. Like I go to the gym, I'd say 4-5 times a week, depending on like my schedule and stuff, and it's just like my me time. It's kind of tune out, do my thing. It very much gets me out of my head and into my body. Same with like taking a walk, whatever.
Yes.
Any physical activity really gets me out of my head and into my body.
I like that.
Which I really has been a huge help just like over the years. And
it's a constant for you.
I don't think this is the other thing. I'm like, what if I broke my leg? Like I couldn't work out. I think I would go insane. I have too much energy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say I judge people who don't work out, but I'm just so curious. I'm like, how do you not work out? Like, what do you do with all your extra energy?
No, totally.
I would be bouncing off the wall.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't, it literally, if I did not work out, it would be like I took 2 shots of espresso before I went to bed. Like I can't sit
just
still.
Be buzzing,
I literally can't sit still. So, but I also think that's like how I was raised. My parents are both very active. And
always
like,
doing stuff.
always doing stuff. My dad literally, if he's sat down, he's taking a nap.
Yeah.
He's not sat down doing something. He is asleep on the couch or he's up moving around. And so, yeah, definitely movement of some sort. But being, oh my God, like living out here has changed my mental health exponentially. The weather, the sunlight.
The sun.
I was always like, I have seasonal depression. I did not realize how bad it was until I moved out here.
You just needed some sunshine.
Oh my God.
So people don't realize Colorado is so sunny. Like when I lived in Denver, like the winters, like, I mean, we were talking about like, it's crazy. Like the winter this year has been pretty bad in Denver, but like, it's usually like not bad, and it doesn't snow that much, and it's always
nice
sunny.
And sunny now, and it's gonna be 65 on Monday. I cannot wait.
Is Tristan a big gym guy or not so much?
He's more like sports. He does work out, not as much as I do, but he played college baseball. He coaches baseball now. He's on a men's baseball league. That's kind of his whole thing. He's on a men's football league. Sometimes I'll be like, do you want to go to the gym with me? He's like, sure, I'm just going to play basketball the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, okay, perfect.
Just like a little kid.
He's definitely more like sports athletic oriented than he is fitness, but he does work out, just like not as much as.
And he's active like you are.
100 more, actually more than I am. Like he is on his feet constantly. He's like my dad. Like he can't sit still, sit down.
Well, that's kind of perfect though.
No, it's great.
For y'all.
But yeah, we're just a little bit different in that way. Like I am so unathletic. I love working out because it's the one thing. Like I played volleyball in high school. I'm 5'10".
Yeah.
Like on paper, I should be really good. I am the most uncoordinated, awkward, could never get my timing down. We play on a volleyball league in the summer. I'm so much better now than I was in high school, and I don't practice. I don't do anything. I just have more body awareness. Like in high school, I was just so like gangly and awkward and like did not know how to like move my body in proper timing or anything like that. And same with snowboarding. It's been really hard for me to pick up because I don't have great like body awareness and control of like my balance and like more on this foot, lean forward, do all this. Like it really takes me a lot to like, it's a lot mentally for me to think about. Whereas working out, like gym, lifting is like, like I don't have to think about it.
Right.
Which I think is like the reverse for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very natural for me to do that. So like, that's kind of where I found a good outlet with fitness and exercise and all that.
That. And where do you feel like you're at now? What's next for you? I mean, I feel like you've kind of come full circle with yourself and, you know, your body and like who you are now and what you've grown into.
That's actually a great question because I feel like my whole life I've always been like, what's next? What do I want to do? What am I working towards? I honestly just feel so, I was telling Tristan this the other day. I feel like very little resistance against myself and things going on in my life right now. Like everything is flowing very naturally and like I feel very grounded. I have like, this is probably the least anxious and the least depressed I've been since I was a teenager. And I just feel I don't want to do any like major changes in my life. I guess if that makes sense. Like I always am like, okay, what's the next big thing? Like what's the next big travel that we're doing? What's the next big move that we're doing? What's the next big thing? for right now, I don't know. I just feel very like centered in my life and want to continue on this path. I'm open to like new experiences and new opportunities. I really like my job. I don't want that to change. I'd love to lean more back into the content creation side of things for my own personal like brand and stuff, but I also don't want it to take away from my real life.
Yeah.
I'm excited for summer and just like be outside more and not like outside in the mountains, just like see my friends more often. Like I had plans with the friends yesterday and we were like, it's too cold. I'm not leaving the house. Like, it's freezing. I don't want to go do anything.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to be a little bit more outside active.
Okay.
I travel a lot for work. So like at least once a month for work. We were talking about getting another dog, but I don't think so because I'm just traveling too much for work right now. And it's a lot. But I really love travel. Like I love the mix of like work from home and then travel for work because we get to go do fun stuff. I love my coworkers. They've become good friends of mine. And so I think just like kind of continuing on that in terms of my career. And I do really want to lean more into the like content side of things for my own personal this year. I say that a lot and then I don't put much action behind it, but I have so many videos on my phone that need to be edited and posted. They just sit there.
But I totally relate to what you said about not wanting content and stuff to take away from your life. It's like, you're feeling so good right now. Let it naturally come back in.
Right.
You know, like it can be a fun thing. And I think now is the time to like be playful with it.
Yeah.
Not put yourself in a box. And like, I think you will find your niche at some point.
I do too.
But I think, as people said, like just share things and just see what pops off. There are certain things that like a reel could go viral and you're like, oh, people actually really like this side of my life. Or when I talk about this thing or when I do this thing. And then maybe you try something else like that. Like you could just try a bunch of different things.
Yeah. I felt so much, like I said, I was like, I'm not feeling any resistance in my life right now. For the last like 2 or 3 years, I felt so much resistance of like, I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. Something's not how I want it to be.
Sure.
And like, I really am not feeling that. I'm just kind of like enjoying it and like leaning into it and kind of seeing where it takes me because I haven't felt this low stress for lack of a better term in so long that I just want to kind of see where it goes. But I don't have anything like major. Now you're going to make me think about that. Maybe I'll have a different answer in a couple days.
But you also don't need to have anything major. And I like not being like, oh, I need 10K steps a day or whatever. It's like just the conceptual, like, I want to be more confident.
Yeah.
I want to feel like
that's my focus for this year.
And just maybe like staying grounded. Like it's okay to like not always be propelling yourself forward. Like enjoy where you're at too.
100%.
There doesn't need to be anything on the horizon.
I think that there is a lot of value in that of just like being where your feet are
and
not constantly thinking about what's coming next. Because I don't have a lot of anxiety about the past. I get a lot of anxiety about the future and like how is this going to play out? Like I really do think like people who struggle with anxiety, it's one or the other.
Right.
Of like these bad things happen and they like you kind of like dwell on the past. Mine is very like future focused and I'm not really feeling that right now. I'm just like everything is good right here, right now. So let's just see what
Well, I also think if you're feeling resistance towards certain things or you're not feeling like super stoked on certain things, that's okay. And then maybe in a few months, you're like, I'm bored. Now I do want to do this thing. Exactly. And then it'll feel more natural and you're going to be like amped up about it. And I think that'll show through whether you're posting or whatever it is that you decide to do. Yeah. So I'm excited to watch and follow along. Well, where can everyone find you in the meantime?
Oh, fabulous. Okay, so Instagram, NatBeFit, 2 T's and Nat. And then my TikTok is something a little bit different. I don't know off the top of my head. It's NatB, but there's like a couple B. It's like 3 or 4 B's. Okay. I don't know. My TikTok got hacked one time before I was like, I don't even have like a big following on TikTok, but this was like, I had like maybe 1,000 followers on TikTok. I never posted. Somebody hacked my TikTok, and so I had to change my name. It was just like a whole thing, whatever. And then don't really post on YouTube, but Instagram is where I'm at mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, and ProMix. You can follow ProMix if you want to. Don't have to, but if you want to.
Yeah, I'll have to try it. Well,
I was talking to Tristan this morning. He's like, "Are you going to talk about ProMix?" I'm like, "No free promos now. No free promos."
I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
I followed you for forever. It's so fun, like
so sweet
getting to meet you, and I'm so proud of you and your journey and all the things. It's been cool seeing like all of your growth and how you've changed over the years. And
thank you.
If if not, like, you're the exact same, if not even, like, better in person.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thanks so much. I'm so glad we finally got to meet in person. We've been DMing for like, what, a year or 2 years?
Yeah,
being like, let's do something. Like I said, you're like, we should ski. I'm like, oh,
yeah, you're like, no. Well, and I'll be back in Denver, so we can hang out.
I cannot wait.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Talk soon. Bye.
All right, and that is a wrap on this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can follow us at Raw Intentions Podcast on Instagram. Make sure you follow Natalie on all of the things. If you are new here, we drop new episodes every single Thursday, anywhere you get your podcast. So definitely tune in. We've been doing this for almost 3 years now, which is crazy. So we've got lots of content in the bank. If you want to catch up, we've talked about anything and everything under the sun. Like I said, I do solos. I have guests on. So if you are someone listening that thinks you'd be a great fit for the podcast, feel free to reach out. I always love to have new faces and new voices to tell their stories. If you want to talk about anything you heard, slide into our DMs. They're always open, and I love hearing from you guys. And if you love us as much as we love you, I would love if you would leave us a little like, rating, or review. That rhymes. But thank you so much. I will talk to y'all next Thursday. Have a fabulous weekend. See ya.